Well, we look at that contest at your long contest scheduled for one fall. And it is a premier women's division match. Let's bring us our competitors.
Set for the women's division of Premier to be on tap once again.
Making her way to the ring. Where she's from, that's none of your business. She is the siren, Loveless.
We're so enamored by her own introduction, she's saying it along with ring announcer Cody White. We've seen Laura a number of times in Premier Championship Wrestling. We have seen a lot of different incarnations of the personality of Laura Loveless, and this seems to be perhaps maybe the darkest and most brooding, as Laura seems very focused and ready to make an impact tonight.
Yeah, Laura Loveless has grown over the years and gotten this a little more darker personality. The siren, as she likes to call herself, she's become a little more vicious since the last time I saw her.
What's the significance of the word siren in context to Laura, do you think?
Well, I think she's trying to lure people into her interesting and devious ways, if I would venture to guess.
It's like a beautiful spider. Londyn came into Premier Championship Wrestling with some big victories, but she had a very harsh critic in the form of Katie Arquette. We saw that war rage throughout the second half of 2018, and we saw Londyn get the better of Katie in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup this past January, and London's riding a little bit of wave of momentum. We'll see if she can continue it with Laura Loveless here in this contest. And momentum is key, and I think the competitive nature of this division has never been greater, because we've heard rumblings and we've had it confirmed that later on in this year we will crown for the very first time a Premier Women's Champion.
And that's so huge in any sort of company, in any sort of time when you announce a new championship. It's so big for each and every individual, but especially if you're a Laura Loveless, as someone who has come into Premier Championship Wrestling, trying to find herself to be a part across the ring from a Londyn Ali who has all this momentum. She can really make her name here right now.
Everybody remembers the first name in that line of lineage, the first Premier Champion Andrew Palace, the first Premier Tag Team Champions, the Koger brothers, the first welterweight champion, Ace Perry. Certainly, no matter where those titles go, no matter who holds them, shoulders down for 2, you can always look back and say, you were the start of that lineage, you were the one that really ushered in that division, you helped build that division. That's certainly an honor, and it's a badge of pride. Look at AJ Styles, first Impact Wrestling X Division champion. Everybody remembers Buddy Rogers, the first WWE champion. Your name goes down in history. Harley Race still referenced the first United States champion. That's something that you wear as a badge of honor no matter where your career takes you. It could be one of these women. It could be Zoe Sky, Miss Hana, Thunder Kitty. So much great talent now in and out of Premier Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, and what's so important about these early matchups, too, before that title is, we're not sure how Premier's going to crown that champion. Is it a tournament format or however you guys work that out? It would be interesting to see. But these matches are so important to build your momentum, to get into the rankings where you want to be positioned.
And just so she doesn't get mad, as Londyn did not connect on that drop kick, and Laura slips out of dodge, just so she doesn't get mad. Maybe Katie Arquette will be the first women's champion. It's possible.
Yeah, anyone could be first women's champ. Those types of first championship victories are always about timing, and it could be Laura Lovelace's time, it could be Londyn Ali's time.
Baseball slide, but Laura's wrestling a great defensive match thus far. She's slipping out of a lot of London's offense. Knife-edge chop, and the look on Laura's face tells the whole story.
Yeah, those knife-edge chops by Londyn Ali, they are brutal. She is a hard hitter, Joe. That is her big strategy. Hit hard.
Hard shot by Laura. And Londyn Ali into the guardrail. And this is turning into quite the brawl here. This is not exactly what you'd expect, potentially, from a typical women's contest. But clearly tempers have raged.
Yeah, and we talked about it early on. Laura Loveless, she's the siren. She was going to lure Londyn Ali into her game. She played a great defense, got her on the outside where she wanted her, and took advantage.
And Laura, we talked about that bit of a darker demeanor. I've seen more aggression out of Laura in this matchup than any time we've seen her previously. Look at again, just a scowl on her face as she targets the arm and shoulder of Londyn Ali.
Yeah, Laura Loveless doesn't think anyone's on her level, and she's trying to prove that here with Londyn Ali. Like I said, London's got a lot of momentum. You talked about the 2 out of 3 victories with Katie Arquette. Nothing says I'm here and I'm ready to do this more than stopping someone's momentum at that peak.
And certainly, I know you know both these athletes very, very well, and you can also speak, though, to the resiliency of Londyn Ali that's really being tested here thus far.
Yeah, her shoulder, as you said, hit steel on the outside, and going through that shoulder injury, and now being positioned like that, just using that steel cable.
Could be enough. No, not quite.
See how she positioned that arm over that cable, too, to get that extra torque into the shoulder, throat, the entire area. Londyn trying to get some blood flowing in.
Imagine wake up in the morning having that face looking back at you.
That is a nightmare for anyone, Joe.
Laura is coming determined, and Londyn, her pain threshold is without a doubt being tested. Referee Troy Davis quick to be in perfect position to detect a potential submission. Laura's had that tunnel vision. Shades of the Anderson Brothers by Laura Loveless in the way she's dissected that part of the body, as Londyn now, with one arm, fighting through as best she can. Look out! Nice side slam. Londyn on top, 2 count only.
Yeah, got to comment on the strength of Londyn Ali. They're able to pick up Laura Loveless with one arm and get that slam, get her into position for that pinfall. But Londyn Ali's got to get that blood flow in that arm. She's not going to beat her one arm.
That's just pure will right there. That is the desire to win, and Londyn going back to those overhand chops that have worked, but you notice Londyn, as soon as any contact is made with that shoulder, it just stops her in her tracks.
Yeah, that shoulder's probably hurt more than she's trying to let on, and she's got a dead weight right now.
That enziguri connects. Cover. Laura's in the rope. Referee detects it, and any type of motion, any mobility whatsoever, just jars that arm and shoulder into further pain.
Yeah, you noticed that Londyn had to, with the cover, you couldn't use her left arm to cover, and even can't use her left arm to get her in position for a move there.
Oh. And Laura drops down, an armbar takedown, and now with the knees. And London's in a bad way right now, and Laura just drops down on that arm and pins her.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Laura Loveless!
Just the arm got completely broken down and dissected throughout this matchup, and Laura put extra pressure, extra torque on that arm, and Londyn Ali was trapped at that point. You got to call this at least a mild upset. Biggest win of Laura Loveless's Cleveland career at the very least.
Yeah. We talked about earlier, she is the siren. You asked what that meant. I said she's going to lure someone in, and she lured Londyn Ali into her trap. Got her on the outside where she was most vulnerable, took advantage the entire match. Great strategy from Laura Loveless. This could be her momentum. This could be her big moment heading towards the Women's Championship.